All right, so there you have it. The Prime Minister has broken protocol, has done a special gesture accorded to very select dignitaries and visiting heads of state, welcoming President Putin himself at the tarmac of the Delhi airport. Russian President Vladimir Putin being accorded, of course, a red carpet welcome into India, a cultural showcase, a guard of honor, and of course a warm embrace from Prime Minister Modi have been the defining moments from the Delhi airport itself as this much awaited visit by the Russian president begins. Just talk us through the body language that we saw on our screen, Shruti. And now we can see another confirmation of the other news break that we had put out a short while back. The two have gone now into a vehicle together. So the same vehicle will be, of course, used by Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. The two will not travel in separate cars, but will go in one vehicle from the Delhi airport to 7 LKM, the Prime Minister's residence, where, of course, there will be a formal welcome dinner. So all smiles as the two leaders remind us of what we saw in China. This shows us the bonhomie on display. The two sharing a ride to the Prime Minister's official residence. Look at that visual coming in. Prime Minister Modi of India and President Putin of Russia. President Putin has, of course, arrived, was given a very warm welcome by India. And now we can see, of course, the two leave from the Delhi airport for the PM's residence of 7 LKM in the same vehicle. It's about a 20-minute ride, and in this ride, of course, we can expect a host of things to be discussed, but really the tone and tenor will be set for what we hope will be a very productive visit by the Russian president to India. Shruti Dasgupta, as we see these visuals, interpret this for us. A gesture accorded to very few visiting heads of state by Prime Minister Modi, welcoming the Russian president on the tarmac itself, a cultural display, a guard of honor, and now the two sharing the same vehicle to 7 LKM, the Prime Minister of India's residence.
Such wonderful gestures are sure going to cause heartburns across the globe, because we'll have definitely Zelensky tuning in, we'll have Trump tuning in, the EU nations will be tuning in, and such gestures are going to be marked that it shows that India puts a lot of belief in their relationships with Russia, and Putin is very, very welcome. So something like this is definitely going to burn hearts. It shows an unsaid solidarity with Russia and its cause. Yes, we have said that this is not the era of war. On repeated occasions, we've asked Russia to kind of measure out its military responses, ensure that there is no humanitarian crime done in its name. We've done all of that in terms of Ukraine war, but we have stood with it. We have maintained our partnership, and in return, we've gotten a decent partnership right back. During our Pahalgam attack, there were calls, there were meetings, there were assurances of spares and anything else that India would need. So these gestures are definitely going to cause heartburn. There are going to be people who are going to be watching every single inch of the land that they would be walking together, each single smile that they would be sending, very much like the SCO summit that happened in Tianjin. So this is a very, very noted gesture. It seems as if it is impromptu, but it is not. It is very much focused on how we want to project the diplomacy that is going to be part of this current visit.
Yes, we are, of course, continuing to show these visuals to our viewers. Major General Sudhakarji, defense expert. Let me also quickly rope you in here. Major General Sudhakarji, a very warm, ceremonial, and, of course, special start for the Russian president's visit to India. The Prime Minister of India breaking protocol, receiving the visiting head of state, the Russian president himself at the tarmac, the two sharing a ride together. to the 7 LKM, the bonhomie on display with the warm embrace that we saw between the two leaders on the tarmac itself of the Delhi airport shows us, of course, what we're going to hopefully see in the next 24 hours as the Russian visit, of course, continues. But how important was this gesture accorded to Putin by Modi, Major General Sudhakarji? And what do you believe will be today evening looking like? The first discussions between the two in the car, and then, of course, the conversation continuing at the Prime Minister's residence of 7 LKM at the welcome dinner, even as we see these live visuals coming in of the Prime Minister's convoy en route now from Palam Airport to 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. That is the Prime Minister's convoy that you can see on your screens. And, of course, in the middle is the car which the two leaders are sitting in. No two separate vehicles, but one car, one ride being shared by Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. It reminds us, of course, of what we saw in China. It reminds us of the gesture that Vladimir Putin accorded there to Prime Minister Modi, where he waited for him to finish his meetings, and then the two left from one venue to the other in the same vehicle.